bouquet from the Books Company. And I got you 25% off of your order so you can send some happiness to your moms, too. Books aren't just any flowers. Their flowers are cut fresh from the best farms, so they're bigger, brighter, and last way longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. Wow mom with a bright, happy bouquet, or go for the Books flower subscription so she can get fresh blooms and major joy on repeat. It's also really easy. I pick my bouquet, delivery date, and done. And with 25% off, why stop with mom? Grab some for your wife, your auntie, and even grandma too. Mother's Day is May 11th, so hurry and order your Books now. Go to Books.com, use promo code CANTY to get 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code CANTY. Books, promo code CANTY.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Let's make tonight the weekend. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. Got no reason not to celebrate. Baby, I just don't want to wait. Tonight's the weekend.
Alex Strofe is our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs. We believe in better. You can hear him on Mr. Irrelevant. When does that run again, Alex?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, beginning at 12:30 Central. Myself, Josh DiMaggio, Hunter Vaughn, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube, as well as in the all-new, brand-new, customizable, is what you say, sleek ESPN Wisconsin app.
Spindly.
Yeah, now that's more of a word to describe me than the app.
And Christian Watson, yeah, although, what does Tausch change it to? Changes it to something else. Wiry. No, I said wiry. He said spindly. That's what it is. All right. We're already getting lots of questions, so I don't want to squander any more of anyone's precious time. I'm excited to get to as many as we can. Now, Strofe, being the consummate professional that he is watching both the ESPN Milwaukee Carbless Talk and Text line, which is 800-990-3776, and the ESPN Madison Carbless Talk and Text line. List really is more in this instance.
Remember when Kevin Harlan was calling both games? He's watching both text lines.
That's pretty good. Good work, reference. Jonathan Lipnicki. 844-770-3776. So you're monitoring those. I've got the YouTube channels open and ready to go here. So I'm watching the comments there. Last housekeeping matter here. How would you like to do this? Because you seem to be a very eager beaver today with monitoring 2 text lines, my guy. So how would you like to handle this? I defer to you as the Q guy since I'm the A guy.
I would like to start with the news of the day, and then I want to get to some of the fan responses and questions on the text lines, the YouTube chat, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Here coming up throughout the 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock hour. So let's start here, Jason, because yesterday, and I know you wrote this in channel3000.com, I know you said it at the beginning of the show, the Packers yesterday deciding to pick up the 5th-year option for defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt in 2026, that worth $12.9 million. But they have yet to make a decision on their other first-round pick from 2022. That's Quay Walker. In your perspective, what is the upside or downside to picking up Quay Walker's fifth-year option? What is taking so long?
So first, a quick history lesson. The fifth-year option came along with the 2011 collective bargaining agreement. So the first Packers first-round pick that they had to face a decision on after his third season was Derek Sherrod. They did not pick it up. Nick Perry in 2012 didn't pick that up either. Now, he played out his fourth year, played really well, got himself an extension because he had such a great final season of his rookie deal, and then they paid him, and then he went back to being the guy he'd been the previous 3 years. So they didn't pick his up, didn't pick Dayton Jones's up. They picked up Clinton Dix's, but then traded him before they got to it. They traded Demarius Randall before they had to pick it up. And then I don't remember if Cleveland picked it up or not, but let's all be honest, who cares? Right? I mean, one of the all-time, like him and Justin Harrell are running a race neck and neck at Titletown about at the same speed as you were doing your three-cone drill to see who wins as the worst first-round pick of the Ted Thompson era. Kenny Clark was the first one to get it and then be in position to receive it. They obviously have extended him twice, their 2016 first-round pick. They did not have a first-rounder in 17. Jair got it in 18. Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage got it from the 19 first round. Darnell Savage played it out, and then they let him go. Obviously, Rashawn Gary got an extension. Jordan Love did not get it. He got this half measure of a contract instead, and then got his $55 million a year deal. And then Eric Stokes, this time last year, did not get it, played out his fourth and final season, and then joined the Las Vegas Raiders as a free agent on a very much one-year, $4 million prove-it deal. So now we arrive at this year. The price tag for defensive tackles, about what? $2+ million less, something. I'm not good at math right now. I think it's 14.7.
Yeah, way to defer to me, who's famously great at math. You're so right.
14.75 million for Quay, though, because I have to fix our video. I look like I'm choppy there. Quay, because the edge rushers and 3-4 systems also factor in, his number is much higher. So they are reluctant to be on the hook for that. But Brian Gutekunst has said on multiple occasions he wants both of these guys back and both of them beyond 2026. So essentially what they are figuring out with Quay Walker, at least based on what Goody has said. Now, maybe he's not telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right?
Yep. That's about what I was about to say. Yep.
But based on what he has said, they want him back, and they want to get either an extension done with him long-term, or if they have to do the fifth-year option, they will bite the bullet and do so. Or, and here are the other two options, you give it to him as a placeholder till you get the long-term deal done, or you don't do it. You decline it. Like the Baltimore Ravens did yesterday with one of their 2 first-round picks from the 2022 draft. And I know Joshy had this guy's name for me this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Lindenbaum. They declined his, but they said, at least Eric DeCosta, their GM, that they intend to sign him to an extension. So because his number was going to be through the roof ridiculous too. So again, until someone proves me otherwise, I'm going to take Goody at his word, which at times has gotten me in a little bit of trouble. But I'm going to believe him that he wants Quay Walker long-term. Linderbaum. Thank you, Joshy. Tyler Linderbaum. Isn't that the family name of the old guys that are lifting TVs in Seinfeld? You're too young. You're not going to get that reference. Never mind. I am curious what happens today because they have till 3 o'clock to decide. My gut tells me they're either going to just give him the fifth-year option as a placeholder or they're going to announce that they came to terms on an extension.
So you think he has done enough to get an extension, essentially, is what I wanted to boil this down to. Because, I mean, obviously, Quay Walker's a guy we have talked plenty about on all of our shows on ESPN Wisconsin the last several years. I don't want to call him inconsistent, but that seems to be the best word in my mind.
Up and
right
down,
now.
very fair.
And, you know, to get the, whatever you said, just short of $15 million extension or a fifth-year option.
Fully guaranteed for 2026, remember, as well.
But does a long-term extension for a starting middle linebacker in the league seem like a smaller than $15 million a year price tag?
I think it does based on his inconsistency, right? I
Sure.
mean, look, I am partial to him because I believe, first of all, I'm fascinated by his personality because he is perhaps, and I'm always careful because of Romeo Dobbs, he is perhaps the most self-loathing player I've ever covered. Like, he is never happy with himself. He is way too hard on himself. We had a great conversation last season after the 49ers game when he played really well. Like, give yourself some grace, man. And I'm no expert in mental health, but, like, if you're constantly beating yourself up, you can't operate that way. Hey, I want somebody who desperately wants to be good and is never going to be satisfied. That is a healthy mentality. I try to espouse that. The girls try to be that way. Always about improving, right? I can always do better. But when you have success, it's okay to say, hey, today was a good day. Now, it doesn't mean that tomorrow I'm going to be as good if I don't work hard. But the conversation I had with him, I will admit, I didn't know him very well. I mean, we would exchange pleasantries in the locker room, but I didn't know him as well as I knew Devontae or Randall Cobb or those types of guys. And this conversation changed things for me. Like I wrote about it at the State Journal at the time. Like, I was like, dude, like, take it from an old guy and I kind of went into parent mode a little bit. Like, feel good about what you've done. You've played really well.
Yeah.
And so my point is that I think, and not just because of that conversation, but because of how he played before he suffered the ankle injury in Seattle, I thought he turned a corner. And you know who else thought he turned a corner? Jeff Hafley.
Yep.
Jeff Hafley thinks him and Edger and Cooper can be their dynamic duo. So
I'm not against that.
Right. So I am a believer that they want him long term. And unless Goody trades him later today or says we're going to decline the fifth-year option and we've decided not to pursue an extension with him, I'm going to choose to believe that. Because if that's what Jeff Hafley thinks, nobody gives a you-know-what I think, although basing an entire 3-hour show on what I think.
Thanks for promoting the show we're doing today.
Yeah, exactly. I knew what I was doing there. That was a joke. But the fact of the matter is the defensive coordinator does believe in him and does have some really interesting ideas cooked up for him and Edger and Cooper on the field at the same time. So I am going to choose to believe that if they do decline the option today, it is a short-term decision that should lead to a long-term contract.
So some quick cleanup from John on the ESPN Madison YouTube chat and from Ryan on the Carbless Talk and text line. You were looking for Mendelbaum from Seinfeld?
Mendelbaum.
What you're looking for?
Mendelbaum, yes.
And real quick, my takeaway on the fifth-year option, and curious if you agree with me on this, for Devontae Wyatt is, I don't think inconsistent is the word here for Devontae Wyatt because he's just been so up and down. He's dealt with some injuries. He wasn't a full-time starter. Mm-hmm. They just need to see more out of him, I would guess, before they make a long-term decision on signing into a second contract. That was my takeaway from the fifth-year option. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, look, he didn't start a game last year. He didn't start.
Right.
Like, that's not, it's kind of like the NBA. Who's your final five, not your starting five necessarily, right? But, he got off to a great start. He had 3 sacks and 5 tackles for loss in the first 3 games. Mm-hmm. Then he jacked up his ankle against Minnesota. And as I used from my conversation with him at Locker Room Cleanout, like, he never really recovered. And he said, a big guy like me on a bad ankle, it has an impact. And it did. But you also have to figure out a way to play through it and still be productive. And I thought toward the end of the season, he was starting to recapture that. And then obviously their season came to an end. So I agree with you. Like, you can say you wanted to sign him to a long-term deal. You want him beyond 26, but you want to see what he does in 25. And then you can always replace that 26 fifth-year option with a long-term deal with him.
I like it. All right, let's get to the fans coming up next after the break, Jason.
I know we've got a phone call from Howard, who is one of our he doesn't call often, but he always says really nice things about the show. So we're going to take him next after the break. So, Howard, don't go anywhere, please, if you can maintain your patience.
Do you really need the positive reinforcements this morning from Howard? Is that why you begged him instead?
Like, we have other fans. You don't have to sound too desperate. Like,
No,
got a good question.
No. I think I accurately depicted Howard. That's all. That's how he doesn't call often, but he always says lots of nice things, and that's certainly better than some of the things that occur in the YouTube chat.
It's a lot
quite
better.
Frankly.
A lot better. Yeah.
And if you want to experience better banking, there's only one place to go, and that, of course, is Associated Bank. They've got the best customer service in the industry. They've got the awards to prove it. And if you're a Packers fan, a Brewers fan, or a Badgers fan, you can also get Packers checking, Badgers checking, or Brewers checking to show your true fan colors. More importantly, though, you've got early pay where you have access to your direct deposit up to 2 days early. You've got credit monitoring to make sure your credit score is where you need it to be, and fraud protection. They were awesome when there was a fraud attempt on my account. It was so good. My guy Ben, everybody over there, so good at what they do. Check out AssociatedBank.com. They're my guys over there at Associated Bank. I'm going to keep going my guy on you all show.
I think we need to address this because you've now said
Sorry,
it.
we got to get to break. We don't have time.
I don't know,
to address
Jesse.
it.
What do you think? He said my guy 6, 7, 8 times today already?
If we address it, we're only going to get to 3 more questions the rest of the show. So we
all right, go to
should
break.
move on.
We'll address it later.
More with my guy, Alex Strofe, as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is our crew.
Terrain is up, scrambling home. He's going to score, and Yelich into third. Oh, the Brewers with the double steal.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lillard lobs up top to Giannis. Oh, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, bump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally, and Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Swinging a fly ball to left. It is back to the wall. Gone! Churio, a grand slam.
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Outside Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop
That's his favorite.
and the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at metrofordofmadison.com. That's metrofordofmadison.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
We're on the Packers.
The excitement level is super high.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The expectation game is going to be very high for this young man, too.
100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
To the phones we go. 844-770-3776. Let's talk to my guy Howard in Sherman Park. Howard, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Oh, I'm staying out of the rain so far, so that's an accomplishment.
That is an accomplishment. I did not do that this morning.
Oh, boy. Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. And you are the first human being in 71 years who has ever accused me of having patience.
Well, maybe I don't know you as well as I think, Howard.
I do not have a reputation for patience. My questions are kind of connected. Every year after the draft, there's two features that have always interested me, and I wonder what it says that I haven't heard about them this year. One is the Wisconsin Badgers that have been drafted, and two is the non-roster invitees to training camp.
So they've got their rookie camp. Those are both really good questions because I think the reason you haven't heard about them is because I haven't done a good job of addressing them on our show. And let's be honest, this was the latest that the first Badger came off the board since 2013, 14. It was a long time ago.
I thought it was 1990 was what I saw.
It's been a long time since they waited as long as they did. Jesse's guy, Hunter Wohler, the second most famous Muskego guy after Jesse, went in the 6th round, right? And he was not the first one off the board.
They were both 7th rounders. Jack Nelson was first. Hunter Wohler was second. Yeah. They were both 7th rounders.
Does Graham Mertz count?
Chimray Dike was the first player off in round 4.
Does Chimray Dike count?
Graham Mertz ruining my John Gutekunst, Brian Gutekunst, Graham Mertz, and his dad's story that I was looking forward to telling when he was going to sign as an undrafted free agent. But that did not occur, no.
Real quick, I think it's interesting because maybe I can connect the dots here. So Isaiah Simmons, who the Packers just signed, now he was a number 8 overall pick, not a 7th round pick like Hunter Wohler was, but he's kind of a safety linebacker hybrid that will be added to the Packers defense, and I've seen some text roll in on his name that maybe we'll get to a bit later. Hunter Wohler drafted as a linebacker by the Colts. Did anybody see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I haven't read into it.
So Colts GM Chris Ballard actually joined the huddle with Barry Alvarez earlier this week on ESPN Madison.
He played for Barry.
Yes, Alex Gravatt and Derek Engler, Tarek Saleh, and of course Barry Alvarez. And Chris Ballard talked about Hunter Wohler being drafted as a linebacker. They're going to use him in kind of a dime package is the plan, and they envision him being kind of a versatile role on defense is what he shared during that conversation.
Now, for Howard's other question, and I don't know if Howard's still there, but thanks for the call, Howard. We appreciate
he's still
it.
here. You want to talk to him again?
No, I just want to go through the list for his benefit. 2 running backs, Amar Johnson from South Dakota State and Jalen White from Georgia Southern. Wide receiver Julian Fleming from Penn State. Northern Illinois guard J.J. Lippy. Minnesota guard Tyler Cooper. Rice tackle Brant Banks, another Georgia defensive lineman. So they drafted one, and now they've got one as an undrafted free agent, Nazir Stackhouse. So a lot of Georgia Bulldogs.
That's a tough name. I'm just throwing that out there. That is a tough name.
Linebacker from Kentucky, Jamon Dumas Johnson. They have a Kazir Brown from Florida Atlantic, so they've got a Nazir and a Kazir. He's a corner from FAU. Tyron Herring, a corner from Delaware, and UNLV safety Jonathan Baldwin. Those are your undrafted free agent signees. Packers have not officially announced those yet, however, but that is from Pro Football Focus. Thanks for the call, Howard. We appreciate it, and thank you for your patience, even if that's out of character.
When is the rookie camp? Is that this week or next?
Yeah,
well, I'd
it's
imagine
today,
next.
They're arriving today. We have not gotten our schedule for availability yet, but it is tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay, and you're able to attend those, or is it just media?
Well, I'm not eligible to participate because I'm no longer a rookie, but yes, I believe we get one practice.
First off, that's also not true. I know you're over 30, and Goody would never invite you. You can go ahead and cue
Also
that
true.
laugh track again. But you have never played in the NFL, so you are technically still a rookie.
I think I'd be a first-year player because my draft window went through.
Sure.
And I wasn't drafted, but I wouldn't be a rookie anymore. I'd just be considered a first-year player. I do not have any accrued seasons.
Sure. Okay. Well,
just to clarify,
you're likely more athletic than me, so you at least do have that going for
That's
you.
a pretty low bar.
Oh, I know. That's why I said it.
All right. Did you have a couple of quick questions you wanted to do before we roll on?
Yeah, I just want to address this one because I know a lot of people are interested in
the room.
the cornerback room, and Jair really is kind of the elephant in the room recently. But this question not about Jair, it is about the cornerback room if Jair is not on the team. Matt in Superior texts in, any rumor / chance Rasul Douglas would come back to Green Bay? I know he's over 30, but
yeah, I again
incredibly unlikely. I would imagine. Right?
I would love that. One of he won the Tom Mulhern Award a couple years ago.
Oh, so he's your guy.
He's one of my guys. Just for those of you who are curious, Strofe referred to me as my guy for him to me, which I feel like the term "he's my guy" you say to other people. You don't say, "Hey, my guy, how you doing today?" You say, "Oh, Strofe is my guy," or "Jesse's my guy," or "Hey, you better get my guy over here because he's getting himself in some trouble."
Isn't that what Jordan Love said about Jair Alexander like a week or two ago?
He's my guy.
He's
my
my
guy.
guy.
Right.
I haven't talked to him all off season, but he's my guy. Yeah. I got to call him, find out what's going on.
I think this is a generational gap, though. Which generation do you fall into?
Yeah. I think I am barely Gen X.
Okay.
I'm not a boomer. I know
you're
that.
Gen X. I am Gen Z. Jesse is a millennial.
Mm-hmm. Jesse's a lot of things.
So I am obviously the youngest guy on the crew. But I would say I often refer to people as my guy. How you doing, my guy? Good to see you. Appreciate you, my guy, right? Like, I just feel like that rolls off the tongue, and you made fun of me, but now you have been using it nonstop. You tweeted an article of yours from Channel 3000 MyGuy.com the other day, and the first two words in your tweet, I think unironically, were my guy.
I was not inadvertent. So we will roll on with my guy, Alex Strofe, as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Jesse, do you want to take a break from questions to do trivia?
No, we got to keep.
Or do you want to
rolling.
do trivia later?
Yeah, we got to keep doing questions. If we get away from the questions, then we did 3, and then things gonna happen.
It's a good point. It's a good point
keep
by you.
doing the questions.
Just keep rolling.
More of your questions on a Q&A day with Alex Strofe, my guy, as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
Dude, he was honest. He had options.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He had other players he liked. He had multiple trade offers, and yet he chose Matthew Golden.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Pro-bound Badgers, along with draftees Jack Nelson and Hunter Wohler, 4 more will get their shot to live out a lifelong dream. On the undrafted free agent front, wide receiver Bryson Green signs with the Arizona Cardinals. O-lineman Joe Huber sticking around the Midwest with the Minnesota Vikings. Cornerback R.J. Delancey going Big Apple with the New York Giants. A couple rookie minicamp invites handed out too. Linebacker John Pius on his way to Cleveland. And D-lineman Elijah Hills is Bay Area bound with the 49ers. Best of luck in the league, boys. Make us proud.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Hey, want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip. Hey, we are so back serving up our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Yeah, your dinner is hand-breaded, fried to perfection, ready to eat for tonight's dinner. Or you can buy it cold, sealed fresh for tomorrow's lunch. You know, we love to make life easier for you. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The host might be irrelevant, but the conversations aren't.
Is Giannis the type of guy that would ask out publicly? Because he doesn't hit me as such. So when I look at this, would I understand if Giannis asked out? I think I would, yes. And would I hate him for it? I really don't think so. Unless he went to the Pacers.
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe. Live on ESPN Madison's YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Wilde Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
When you tell me I'm a wreck, you say that I'm a mess. How could you expect anything less? You latched onto me, then cried how strong you were.
Continuing with your questions, again, YouTube comments, Twitter, Facebook. I'm logging into LinkedIn right now. The Milwaukee Carbless talk and text line, 800-990-3776. The Madison Carbless talk and text line, 844-770-3776. Strofe, what's next?
Yeah, I think we're going to spend at least 2 segments on what is probably the sexiest, most interesting position group for the Packers in 2025 following the first-round drafting of Matthew Golden and the third-round drafting of Savion Williams. Of course, the wide receiver room. Now, I think this is probably the question I've seen the most. I see this one from Josh and Heartland. I saw a couple YouTube comments on there on this one, so apologies for not saying everybody's name. But it's essentially this, Jason, and I think it's a fascinating question. Who is more likely to be a Packer, not this upcoming season, but the following season, Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson? Obviously a part of that same draft class. And Romeo Doubs dealt with some issues last year, didn't show up to work at one point. Christian Watson obviously tore his ACL at the end of the regular season and will miss a large chunk of this upcoming season. So in your mind, as your video screen goes away from us on YouTube, who is more likely to be a Packer in 2026, Jason? Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson?
Christian Watson, and here's why. And again, Goody has not said this to me, so this is just my educated opinion. I think that it's hard for them to trust that he is going to be trustworthy after how things played out last year when he was unhappy. I think when you don't show up for work, people get concerned. And I think that that's a violation of trust that I don't know if they will be willing to. And look, it's not that they don't trust him to be on their team still, right? I mean, they didn't cut him. They didn't get rid of him.
Right.
But do you trust him enough to pay him a significant amount of money with an extension and a bunch of guaranteed money therein? My gut tells me no. My gut tells me that they're going to say, look, man, we don't know what the future holds, but you put your head down, work your tail off, be as productive as humanly possible, and then we'll see. You know, maybe he has this great season, and they're like, you know what? He proved to us that he's matured and he's better than that now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they extend him. I think he's probably going to be more likely to have a productive season and then get paid by someone else. Now, the Christian Watson scenario is fascinating to me because the head coach loves Christian Watson. I mean, loves Christian Watson. And I would think that the best case scenario for the Packers would be for him to come back in mid-November from the ACL, be okay, have some good moments, show his speed, even if it's not quite the same speed because he's just coming off the ACL, but show that he's still got it, have some production, but not too much production where another team says, hey, we know he came off the ACL, but we saw what he did in late November and December and early January, and they're willing to pay him. Because I think the Packers' dream scenario would be he shows us enough that we still want him because the coach loves him and we think we don't have anyone like him, even with Matthew Golden being as fast. He's not as big. And they can get him on a 1-year, not prove-it deal because it would be for more money than just, prove it to us that you deserve a contract, but still with prove-it kind of overtones. So I think that's the best case scenario. And then if he goes out in 26 and is star-spangled awesome, and him and Golden become, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, which, again, who knows what the future holds. You got Jaden Reed in the mix. You've got Dontavion Wicks in the mix. But if he comes out and plays like the guy that they envisioned him when they drafted him at the top of the second round, and you got those two guys together, I would argue that you're probably happy to pay him because he's played that well that he's forced you to pay him.
So if I rephrase the question and I say what's the most likely outcome in 2026, Romeo Doubs on the roster, Christian Watson on the roster, or neither on the roster, is your answer still Christian Watson?
I fear that neither.
That's where I lean. I think neither is probably the answer, just given the cards they played at the draft, right? Drafting 2 wide receivers on rookie deals, including a first-round wide receiver, and we talked about the fifth-year option earlier. You've likely got 5 years of Matthew Golden and several of Savion Williams. You obviously still have Jaden Reed for a couple more years and Dontavion Wicks for a couple more years. I wouldn't be shocked if after 2025 there's a little bit of an overhaul, a changing of the guard, if you will, at the wide receiver position. Now, that's dependent on the big question that we had entering last year, right? Will one of these receivers take a big step? And the answer we saw in 2024 was no, right? Jaden Reed was good, and then I think you've compared him to a milk carton or said he was on the side of a milk carton the second half of the season.
That's an old person reference, too, when missing kids a milk carton.
Well, that's a reference I do understand, though many of yours go over my head. I would not be shocked if this is the final season for both Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs in green and gold, and then all of a sudden your 4, rather than the 4 we've been used to the last few years, is the 2 rookies and Reed and Wicks.
Yeah, I look, you very well could be right. That's probably the most likely scenario. I also would say this. Let's slow our roll a little bit. Look, Matthew Golden is the first-round pick. Mm-hmm. Okay? He deserves all the hype, right? He's fast. He came up huge in huge games for Texas, right? SEC title game, their first playoff game. But Savion Williams, let's not anoint him as Deebo Samuel 2.0 just yet. I feel like if there's one draft pick that people are super excited about that isn't Matthew Golden, it has been him. And look, I've contributed to that, right? LaFleur's up there talking about all the different ways they can use him. And guys that are versatile like that are fascinating. And for coaches, they are excited. They want to get in the lab, as they say, and start conjuring up different ways to use him. So, yeah, he can be a wildcat quarterback. He can line up in the backfield and take handoffs. He can run jet sweeps and end arounds. He can be a traditional receiver. He's still a third-round pick, right? And fair or not, they've taken third-round picks like James Jones, who was outstanding. And they took third-round picks like Amari Rodgers. So, there's no guarantee just because he's got a diverse skill set that he's going to be such a stud that you're like, yeah, we're fine with losing both Watson and Doubs in free agency. Right?
Of course, there's no guarantees. And obviously, under Brian Gutekunst, his first-round picks have, for the most part, not been instant contributors, right? I think Jair is an example of an instant contributor in 2018. Eric Stokes in his rookie year was an instant contributor. That was a guy who was on the field and played arguably his best year in green and gold his rookie year. Outside of that, Gary chipped in, Walker chipped in their rookie years, but Love was
Savage
never active.
Started all the games as a rookie, or most of the games, but he didn't. He wasn't great.
No, he was not. But for example, right, Jordan Love was never active in his rookie year, and that's an obscure one because he was a quarterback when you had the literal MVP on your roster that year at the same position. But you look at Lucas Van Ness. I mean, he wasn't terrific his rookie year. Devontae Wyatt, who we talked about earlier, was in a rotation. He played a little bit his rookie year, but wasn't a huge contributor. Last year, Jordan
Kenny
Morgan
Clark
didn't
is
play
a really good player, and Kenny Clark did not contribute a lot as a rookie either.
Yeah, so but especially under Goody, Jason, these first-round picks haven't always been instant contributors. Now, with the excitement and the buzz of the draft being in Green Bay and the excitement and the buzz of the Packers taking a wide receiver in the first round for the first time since 2002, and they did it with Javon Walker, I think fans like myself get very excited because I recognize the need, right? We watched last season. We watched them lose to the Eagles, and as you've talked about many times on the show, you steal things from the team that wins the Super Bowl, or in this case, the team that knocked you out of the playoffs. Wide receiver is a position of strength for the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Packers viewed what happened in 2024 and said, well, that just wasn't good enough for our quarterback who we're paying $55 million a year to. So they tried to upgrade. They showed some urgency in the first 2 days of the draft at that position. So as fans, naturally, we're going to say, all right, we've got a stacked room. This is the competition to watch come training camp because you've got 6 legitimate guys, well, to start the season, 5 legitimate guys with Watson recovering from the ACL that can contribute big numbers at that position. Is that a guarantee, though, for Matthew Golden? Is that a guarantee, though, for Savion Williams? The answer is a flat-out no. We can hope, but as we know, hope is not a strategy. So we will see how it plays out. But when it comes to Golden specifically, who we'll talk more about coming up, his speed is so intriguing, and what component that can bring to an offense with a creative offensive mind calling the plays, with Jaden Reed, who can do a lot of things well, with Matthew Golden with that great speed, with the tight ends, who I know everybody's excited about. Savion Williams is a unique piece, and I'm super excited to see how Matt LaFleur can involve him in the offense. It just feels like that is a position where somebody might stick out from the rest of the group finally this year because you've added some extra investment this year entering 2025 more so than you did last year in 2024.
We will get to the 10 o'clock hour, which is starting late only because of that lengthy soliloquy from my guy, Alex Strofe. More of your questions via the Carbless Talk and text lines, plural. Also, the YouTube comments. Andy C. has left the YouTube stream because you're on. So I
saw
don't
that.
know what you ever did to
Thanks,
him.
Andy.
Andy was irritated about a lot today.
Yeah.
Andy needs to take a nap.
He also doesn't like the way Jesse posts the podcasts. So there's some grousing.
Andy
in
needs to go to Steinhoffel's, buy himself a new mattress, get a good night's sleep, and try again later.
I wasn't going to tell everyone about Steinhoffel's till later, but if you're telling me you'd like me to tell everyone about them now, I'm certainly willing to do that, Jesse. Is that a not so subtle suggestion from you?
No, it was just a suggestion for Andy. You do whatever you want to do.
Okay. More Wilde Tausch. The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes for everyone but Andy, who doesn't like Strofe. So stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Balaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Milwaukee Brewers 6-4 winners over the Chicago White Sox last night on the South Side. That means the Brewers back over 500 with a record of 16-15 after 1 month and a little bit of play in the 2025 season. The Brewers going for their first sweep of 2025 this afternoon at Rate Field. 1:10 first pitch for the Brewers and White Sox. If it doesn't rain, looks like it's going to hold off on the south side of Chicago. Pre-game coverage, if there is no rain, starts at 12:30 right here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Jim, Matt, and Molly will start after the conclusion of the Brewers game this afternoon on ESPN Madison. NBA fallout continues from the Bucks' elimination at the hands of the Indiana Pacers in their opening round Eastern Conference playoff series. The latest speculation on Giannis's future with the Bucks. or with another team, including from ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst. Check it out over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wilde Tausch continues next, 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
To the 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch, which is an exercise in questions for me. Strofe monitoring very, very, very closely to see if his friend Andy returns to the YouTube comments. Also, the carbless talk and text lines, plural, 800-990-3776 or 844-770-3776. Strofe, what do you got?
Let's stick in the wide receiver room because and it's too early to tell, obviously, what Matt LaFleur might cook up for a guy like Matthew Golden, but we can anticipate after Brian Gutekunst said post-draft he will be involved and will likely be a factor early. How do you expect Matt LaFleur to use him, right? He seems like a slot guy, an outside guy. He can do a little bit of everything. Seems like Jaden Reed does a lot of things similarly to Matthew Golden, but Golden a little bit faster. Do you think we can expect Golden mainly in the slot, mainly in the Z, mainly in the X? Where do you expect to see Matthew Golden, or will it be a combination of multiple things, or is it frankly just too early to tell?
Frankly, it's too early to tell. I'd like to see him on the field tomorrow or Saturday. I'm not sure which practice we'll get to see, or even if there are two of them. But look, I think Matt LaFleur wants guys that can play in every spot, no matter how tall or short they are, right? We saw Christian Watson line up in the slot on a somewhat regular basis, right? I mean, that one touchdown that he catches on the slant in Philly 2 years ago, he was lined up in the slot on that. I mean, they want guys that are interchangeable. The word versatility is probably, whether it's about the offensive line, whether it's about their wide receivers, whether it's about their different defensive packages. They love versatility. It's one of the buzzwords at 1265 Lombardi Avenue. So I don't know what their intentions are for Golden. I do know that Goody acknowledged that he is right on the Mendoza line for being tall enough to be a Packers wide receiver at 5'11". Now, they've violated it before. Randall Cobb was not a mammoth wide receiver. Greg Jennings, who is the guy that again, how much do you learn by watching highlights? Probably not a ton, right? But when I watched video of Matthew Golden, the guy that he reminded me of was Jennings. And Jennings lined up outside all the time. So, he seems fast. He's faster than Jennings, but I think Jennings was, at least from what I remember of him versus what I saw on YouTube of Golden, it was smoother. So I'm curious to see how they use him. But again, when you pick a guy in the first round for the first time in 23 years, the expectation is he's going to contribute immediately.
Immediately, yeah, indeed. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's such a fun idea what this offense can look like in 2025. Now, you do miss an important piece in Christian Watson, at least for the first half of the season, but with both tight ends healthy entering the season, with a slew of wide receivers now with the two they added from the draft, with Josh Jacobs coming off a really good season, with an improved, we hope, offensive line, this offense is going to be really fun to watch under a really good play caller and a really smart offensive mind of Matt LaFleur. Now, something that's been on my mind, because I have a weird brain, Jason.
I'm aware.
Number 22 for a wide receiver. I don't like it.
Yeah, look, okay, Boomer. I'm an old guy. I like the idea of knowing the positions guys play based on how their numbers are.
Agreed.
I liked that. I saw Will Johnson, the corner who fell because of his knee issues to Arizona in the second round when he was viewed by most as a top 10 talent, is going to wear number 0 for the Cardinals, I think I saw. Again, hey, more power to you. The rules are the rules. I just like traditional numbers. But, I'm an old fuddy-duddy who would use the term fuddy-duddy. If he wants to wear 22, great. But it seems weird for a wide receiver. It just does.
Do you know if you reached out to Malik Willis about the number 2 jersey?
I don't. Here's the thing about this job. And I have Malik's number. He and I hit it off. I enjoyed writing about him. It would be nice if, like, for instance, they start the off-season program. And look, I don't want to sound like I'm belly aching about the job, but it'd be great if guys were made available. So I could, if you could talk to guys about this kind of stuff. Like, the Packers view, and, this is not a shot at Jason Wallers or anybody in the PR department because I think it's higher than them, but they don't need media coverage because they're a winner all the time, right? So they're not like the Jaguars who would love for me to come and talk to their guys every day of the week just because they need the attention, right? I mean, I'm sure Rob could tell you how many people read his stories on ESPN.com versus Mike Duraco, who's an awesome dude and a really good reporter, but he covers the Jaguars, and the fan base isn't as fervent or as large, right? So my point is that I would love to – I'm looking forward to OTAs. I love OTAs. We used to have – when they had an OTA practice, we got to go to every single one, which, in my opinion, is really important because if you happen to only get to go to 3 of them, and that's the day that one guy's really great, but he's sucked in all the others, or the opposite, he's had great days in OTAs, but the one day the media is there, he stinks, it creates a negative or a positive narrative that isn't accurate. So when, like, Mike Sherman was the coach early in the McCarthy era, we went to every single OTA, and yes, it meant standing on the sideline and watching practices in shorts and helmets, but that's the stuff I want more time around these. I want more time in the locker room. So if and when I talk to Malik Willis, who I did not want to text and ask, hey, did you try and sell your number 2 jersey to the new wide receiver? I'd rather ask him that when I see him in person. So
that's fair.
I wish I had an answer for you. I do, but I don't.
I was thinking about bullying you into texting Malik like I did earlier in the offseason with Brian Gutekunst to ask about Devontae Adams and their potential interest in him. But I am going to be the bigger person today, Jason. I am not going to attempt to bully you into texting Malik Willis. So here's what I'm thinking going forward.
Okay.
We've got I know this,
You're taking
but sometimes
control
I
of the
forget.
show, aren't you?
No.
You kind of are.
A little bit. Sometimes I forget that Wilde Tausch International show, right? You guys are beloved all over the world.
Yes, huge in
coming up
Brazil.
next, we have a couple calls, one in Canada, one in a different state that's not Wisconsin, that we should get to. We've got some really fun questions that I want to bring Jesse in on a bit later, and then we'll get to all the other nonsense and fun we have planned. That sound good?
Whatever you say, boss. Since you've taken over leadership
Jesse,
of the
do
program.
you think Jason's having fun? I don't know if Jason's having fun or not. I can't tell.
I don't think he has fun most days.
That's problematic.
I don't know if that's. I don't think that's accurate at all. I have a lot of fun. I'm really lucky to do this job. I am not complaining at all. I just thought it was interesting that you made it clear that I was going to run the show, and then like that last segment of the show after you started to very much get into. Welcome back to Mr. Irrelevant. I'm driving the bus. That's all.
In my defense, I do sit in this chair when I host Mr. Irrelevant. Now, if you're not having fun, we could always go to the classics. Does soap wash itself, clean itself?
No, I'm having a great time. We will get to. I am very conscientious for callers. So Ricardo in Canada and Spencer in Minnesota, stay on hold. because Strofe had questions like, have you asked Malik Willis if he's selling his number 2 to Matthew Golden, which was more important than your calls. We will get to your calls next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member-first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Immediate live show streaming, a homepage customized just for you, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
If you're just doing this because you're starting to not believe the Packers are going to bring in a number 1 wide receiver.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
Who are the top guys?
And that's
Tops. That is the problem.
No, I totally
that is
agree.
The problem. You have never called Xavier McKinney the wrong name.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, you know, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
And not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Outside Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop
stab,
that's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
We're on the Badgers.
When you turn on the tape of Wisconsin Badger,
because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
You know you're getting a boy dog warrior.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hold on, I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone. I don't wanna move on. I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingertips a little bit by a little bit. I didn't know that loving you was the happiest I've ever been.
844-770-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Let's get to a couple of calls. Let's start north of the border with Ricardo in Canada. Good morning, Ricardo. How are you?
Morning, guys. How you guys doing today?
I'm good. How are you, buddy?
All right. Living the dream, brother. Okay, I got a question. It's been bugging me because I'm a little OCD and I like my things nice and tidy. What in God's name do you guys think is going to be happening with the offensive line? Now, I get it. I thought we had our left tackle of the future, Jordan Morgan, but then they go out and draft a mountain of a guy to also play tackle because he's too big to play guard, I believe. And then that means Sean Ryan's going to be out. But then they drafted another seventh-round pick, tackle. Like, we have so many offensive linemen. What do you guys honestly believe is this going to shake out? Because I don't like the idea of the rotations. I like having 5 set guys and let them work together, build the chemistry, run together. But I don't think it's smart enough to have a second-round swing tackle of the future. That's too much. That'd be too much draft capital, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? I need to know. What do you believe is going to happen with the offensive line?
It's good.
Good question. I don't think they drafted Anthony Belton to play right away. And both Goody and LaFleur were asked if he was going to be part of the tackle competition at left tackle between Jordan Morgan and Rasheed Walker, who is the incumbent. And they both said no. So they do not intend for him to be part of that. Now, could he compete right away with Sean Ryan to be the starting right guard? Because he's not going to be the starting left guard. That's why they signed Aaron Banks. He's not going to be the starting center because that's Elton Jenkins. And he's not going to be the starting right tackle because not only is Zach Tom their best offensive lineman when he's healthy, I would argue, but he's the one guy out of that group that I think they plan on re-signing. So, it's possible that Anthony Belton is the swing tackle as a rookie, and he might actually need that too, right? He might need that time to develop and to be ready. Just because he's a second-round pick and he's a behemoth of a human doesn't mean he's ready to play in the NFL right away. And if Sean Ryan wins that job, then fine. But again, if Rasheed Walker staves off Jordan Morgan for the left tackle job, which I still believe is going to be the case, but again, who knows? Then does he start rotating with Sean Ryan again so he's still playing? Because I don't think you want your first-round pick to not be a starter in his second year after he wasn't a starter in his first year.
Do you think the Anthony Belton pick, that selection in round 2, tells you anything about how they feel about Jordan Morgan, or am I reading too much into that?
I'm not sure that it tells you that they're unhappy with him or they're doubtful about him. I think it's more of a, hey, we want a different type of offensive lineman. And Goody didn't want to admit that. But again, I don't think we can extrapolate, they're unhappy with the guys they have. That's why they drafted one in the second round, one in the seventh round. I think they're preparing for life without the 3 guys that are in their final year of their contracts. And Elton Jenkins, by the way, who has 2 years left on his deal. And I'm still not sure that he's super happy seeing the amount of money that they paid Aaron Banks and saying, hey, man, wait a minute, what about me?
It's a good point. Good point. I didn't even think of that. When you look at offensive line, we can take away particularly 2 things we know about the Packers, right? They like versatile linemen, and they can never have enough linemen. So I'm probably reading into it too deeply with the drafting of Belton. But to Ricardo's point, I don't know what to expect from Jordan Morgan in year 2. And I don't love the rotational thing either to piggyback off what Ricardo said when he called in. I like 5 set guys, but if you feel like, okay, it's better to give Sean Ryan a blow on this drive and let Jordan Morgan play right guard, as long as I can't really tell a difference and Josh Jacobs still has holes to run through and Jordan Love does not wind up on his backside, I'm not going to complain about that. But the signing of Aaron Banks, fine, good. Once again, you can never have enough good offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jordan Morgan piece of this is something to watch come training camp in the preseason for me.
Let's get to another call. Let's not quite north of the border, but west of the border. Let's go to Spencer in Minnesota. Spencer, good morning. Welcome to Wilde Tausch. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good.
This is fun, isn't it?
Very fun. So I got a question.
Is everybody
maybe
not
a little
having
bit more
fun? Like that sounded so sarcastic by everyone.
I'm a little concerned. I don't want people to not have fun. I think
Strofe,
maybe
are
they
you
missed
having
the
fun?
soap plane itself.
I'm having a blast. It's good to be here. I'm having fun.
I like question day because I think I'm probably a fan that thinks too much or probably takes things a little too seriously or dives in a little bit more.
This,
but
Spencer, I'm right there with you. I stay up too late thinking about all this nonsense.
Well, we'll see if you've got a answer on this question, Strofe, because I think it's a little, I don't know, it's a little out there. But I'm just concerned with the wide receiver group, not so much the talent, but maybe the environment that they're in. You know, we're going to probably have, again, one of the youngest bunch of wide receivers, you know, in the league this year, and this coming off of 2023, where we did have the youngest group of pass catchers in NFL history. And again, you know, it's something I've thought in the past, and I think I've called in and talked about it too, but taking 2 more rookie wideouts, I'm just wondering if Ryan Mahaffey, he's just kind of an interesting guy, I think. You know, last year was his first year as a wide receiver coach, period, and coaching his own group in the NFL. Before that, we had Jason Vrabel for the couple years, you know, and I've heard some beat reporters in the past hint that maybe Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb didn't think Vrabel was the best wide receiver coach. But again, with such a young group, none of these guys have had a veteran in that room outside of Dobbs and Watson back in 2023. Mahaffey, he was a fullback at Northern Iowa. He coached at Northern Iowa for a couple of years as like a tight end coach and offensive coordinator. He was our assistant offensive line coach for 2 years before this. And of course, you know, he was a grad assistant at Notre Dame when Matt LaFleur was there. And I guess I'm just concerned because I feel like we have such a talented group here, and I don't know if we have the right guys in the room to help coach that group up. And even looking at, you know, the 4 guys we talked about the most there, Watson, Dobbs, Reed, and Wicks, have any of those guys really progressed since they've been here? Just about all of them were most impressive their rookie year. And again, with getting injected with more talent, I'm just wondering if my concern is correct with what's going on in that receiver room. And I don't think LaFleur has said it, but last year I know Luke Getsy was kind of self-scouting on the defense. Rodgers, I know in the past, talked up and said what a great mind he was and what a good wide receiver coach he is. And I'm wondering if maybe he's going to help out this year. Again, I don't know if it's really a question, but it's just something I've been mulling over for a while here. And then even just in the NFC North, every other wide receiver coach spent at least 4 years in the league or have shown success being a wide receiver coach in the NFL.
All right, so a lot to unpack there, Spencer. Thanks for the call, and it is a question, sort of. Here's the deal. First of all, they now have 3 guys that are capable of coaching wide receivers, right? Because they've got Luke Getsy back on the staff as a senior assistant. He can certainly not just coach wide receivers, but coach the people that coach the wide receivers, right? So whether that's Ryan Mahaffey, giving him some, hey, here's some drills that I did that really worked, or talking with Vrabel about it. You know, I think they feel really good about Vrabel. I don't think Rodgers was a huge fan. I'm not sure that was the case with the other, with the actual wide receivers, but that's one part of it. But the thing that Strofe, that Spencer hit on there is the lack of a veteran. It's just different when you're a player and it's player to player. Mm-hmm. Yeah, coaches can do all that stuff, and they are important. I am not in any way undercutting the importance of coaches. But it is also important to have a veteran who can help you. And I don't want to get off on they should have signed Devontae Adams rant, because that's water under the bridge. And now they've drafted 2 wide receivers. So I don't think that's the issue here. But do I think that having that guy, because you heard what Spencer said, he said, well, they didn't have any veterans in the room other than Watson and Dobbs in 2023 when Wicks and Reed came along. Well, guess what? Those guys weren't veterans either, right? Those guys were going into their second year, and I think that was Spencer's point, is that this is not – they've never had that. And those guys are still – I mean, look, let's be honest about last year. A veteran wide receiver in that room like Davante Adams, he probably says something to Romeo Dobbs like, hey, get your ass to work, man. Like, don't stay home. You do not want to do this, right? Because that's part of the deal is being a veteran leader, is that he says, hey, no, come on in. We'll work through it together. Like, take a beat, have a meal, and come to practice. And they don't have that guy. And they have not had that guy. And in 2022, their most experienced wide receiver and their number one wide receiver, who had 3 rookies in his room in Samori Toure, Romeo Dobbs, and Christian Watson, was Alan Lazard. And Alan Lazard's a good dude and a goon and a good example and does all the dirty work. He ain't Davante Adams. So this is how they've chosen to move forward. And now we'll see what the coaches do. But I think Spencer's question, if we boil it down, isn't so much about whether the coaches are good enough, but if there's a missing piece in terms of how much, like Goody saying what he did about urgency or the problems that they had with drops. Are those things that if you have a veteran in the room holding them to a high standard, in addition to the coaches holding them to a high standard, that maybe gets cleared up more quickly? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But the fact of the matter is it hasn't been good enough.
That is a fact. And I think that's why, to your point with Goody's sentence about urgency at locker cleanout or his end-of-season press conference that week, I think he showed it in his own way by drafting Matthew Golden in the first round and Savion Williams in the third, spending 2 of their top 3 picks on wideouts, because that was a position that just wasn't good enough. Now, could you make the case that Goody didn't show that urgency at other positions? Sure. I think you certainly can. Now, I think the word Spencer used that I found interesting was environment, because it focused on how these guys are developing, how these guys are growing. And we went into last season saying, well, this is the year. Somebody's going to take a jump, right? Jaden Reed's going to become that dude this year. My guy, Jaden Reed's going to become that dude. And, well, he did for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell apart, and they didn't have that dude. Tucker Kraft had some moments at the tight end position, but they just didn't have a consistent, true number one option. So I know you said you didn't want to make it about not signing Davante Adams. I think that would have been so beneficial to the growth of this group, even if they still spent a first-round pick on Matthew Golden, with a receiver, a great route runner, a guy that does the fundamentals well at that position, just to have somebody in the room that does it. And I think at one point, the rumor mill was swirling during free agency. A guy like MVS could come back to Green Bay. Well, again, I think a guy that's been around the block a few times and is still good enough to play on the field, I think that's beneficial. But the good news for this room is the old saying of pressure creates diamonds. You can't have 5 receivers on the field week 1 all at the same time unless it's a Hail Mary end of game situation, right? Not all of these guys are going to play. And there was going to be some heavy competition for snap counts. Now, Jaden Reed is probably the guy you look at and go, okay, he'll probably be the leader in the clubhouse, but he wasn't used a ton in 2 wide receiver sets last year. You look at Dontavian Wicks and say, okay, is this finally the year he really takes that next step? But both of those guys, top 10 in drops in the league last year. And what will the roles be for the 2 rookies? So hopefully training camp breeds a ton of competition and all of these guys help one another elevate. But I don't think a veteran presence would have hurt in any capacity this year, whether that's an MVS or Davante Adams. And I know those are 2 very different sides of the spectrum when it comes to talent. But I still think that was a miss by Goody, but I was excited to see him draft 2 wide receivers just to breed some more competition in that room.
We'll get into more of your questions coming up. Want to remind you, the Steinhafels Memorial Day mattress sale is underway. Memorial Day is a ways away, but the sale is here now. Save up to $900 on select adjustable base sets, plus get up to $300 in Steinhafels cash. And take advantage of Steinhafels' special 60-month financing. Get a Queen Tempur-Pedic mattress for only $48 a month, a Beautyrest Black mattress for only $36 a month, or an avocado mattress for only $26 a month. Steinhafels, Wisconsin's mattress leader. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. More of our Q&As with Alex Strofe as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Metro Kia of Madison is Madison's trusted Kia dealership, and they are home to the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service your vehicle, Metro Kia of Madison is the place to go. As always, at Metro Kia of Madison, you can enjoy 2 years of no-charge maintenance on any new vehicle. Browse their inventory and find this month's special at MetroKiaofMadison.com. That's MetroKiaofMadison.com. Find your new vehicle at your trusted Kia dealership today.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The sound of summer is on ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Madison's home of the Brewers.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN.
Get up. Get out of here. Gone.
Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison is presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford and brought to you by J&K Security Solutions and Revive Restoration.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails are here for your flawless summer. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Drinking Carbless and watching the crew is already a win, but now that combination is about to get a whole lot better. Carbless is offering you a sweet night at the ballpark. Your chance to win 14 tickets with food and drinks included to the July 26th game is just one shopping trip away. From now until the end of May, head to your local retailer and scan the QR code to register for your chance to win this amazing prize. A flawless summer night at the ballpark awaits.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's national park of speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Spring Vintage Weekend with the SVRA is up next on May 16th through the 18th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago White Sox.
Fly ball deep left field. back at the track. We are tied. Jackson Chourio.
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to the rhythm of the night. There's something in the air you can.
We roll on with our questions with Alex Strofe as our cousin sub of the day for Tausch. Cousin subs, we believe, are better. Strofe, what do you got next up in the rotation? I have a tweet that I wanted to quick touch on from NFL Detail. It's his handle. Who do you think will win the left tackle job? My contention, it is Walker for now and Belton at some point in the future. I know Morgan got hurt, but I fear that they missed on him. That's a good question, but I think Rasheed Walker is going to hold off Jordan Morgan this camp, be the guy, and then they're not going to re-sign him. And they're not going to re-sign Sean Ryan either. And then Belton is going to be a starter in one spot, and Morgan's going to be a starter in another. And it may be tomato, but they love their left tackles that they convert. Morgan was a left tackle. Sean Ryan was a left tackle. Obviously, Rasheed Walker was a left tackle. But going back to Brian Bulaga was a left tackle. Josh Sitton was a left tackle. TJ Lang was a left tackle. David Bakhtiari. They draft left tackles. That's why Jacob Monk was such a surprise. And even he played some left tackle at Duke.
Yeah.
So that's what they do. That's what they believe in. But yeah, if I'll say this, if Rasheed Walker loses that job, if I was his agent, I would say I want to be traded to a team that needs a left tackle because I can start and I should be starting. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think everything you said there is correct. I think Rasheed Walker will be the left tackle for one final season, and then we'll see from there. But that's why you draft offensive linemen early, as we talked about earlier. You backfill. You can never have enough good offensive linemen, and then you sign the ones or one you want to keep, and that's going to end up being Zach Tom, we assume. So I think you're spot on that.
All right, what else you got, Strofe?
Well, besides speculation that because of how long-winded I am that you could be my father, I assume you would like to dispel any of those rumors.
I know that there were some opportunities for people in this industry maybe, but no, I'm not your father.
Jesse, just confirm no nepotism here?
No.
Nepo, baby.
No nepotism involved as far as I know. I'm Jesse LePay. Back to you guys.
Well played.
Dynamite dropping. Yeah, that was good. So you often say, this might be a little long-winded, so apologies in advance, but you often say growth is not linear, right?
I do say that, yeah.
It is not an easy thing. And being the youngest team in the league, it is up and down. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster for a lot of players the last couple of years, being so young. Dave from Aaron chimes in. Question for all, not just for Jason. If you had to pick a breakout second or third year player on each side of the ball, who would you chaps pick? I like being called a chap.
Ooh, a chap. I'll go last. I'll let you guys pick first.
Jesse, you want to lead us off?
Second or third year, so not
That's
a rookie, and no one else beyond that. Okay, Jaden Reed. I think they're going to figure that one out this year. Is that like?
Can you call him a breakout player when he's been their leading receiver the last 2
Did
years?
you see the second half of the season?
I'm going to let it pass. If he means that from a consistency standpoint, I'll take it.
Just
don't say Edrin Cooper next.
Consistency.
Don't say Edrin Cooper.
Right, exactly.
Does Xavier McKinney count as a second-year Packers player?
Funny guy, Matt LePay Jr.
I don't know what to say on the defensive side of the ball.
The defensive players from the 2023 draft are Lucas Van Ness, Colby Wooden, Carl Brooks, Carrington Valentine. From last year's draft,
Strofe's guy.
Edgerrin Cooper, Javon Bullard, Tyron Hopper, Evan Williams, Katan Oladapo, and Kalen King.
I liked what we saw from Evan Williams the first half of the year till he got hurt. So I kind of like that might be cheating, but If he's back and healthy and he's a significant part of it, I liked what we saw from him.
He'll be a starting safety. I will go different routes. Offensively, I'm going to go with Luke Musgrave. I think Matt LaFleur has the opportunity to get really creative with both of those tight ends. And we remember how much people were gushing about Luke Musgrave his rookie year, and now he's dealt with some injuries, and Tucker Kraft seems to become the guy at that position.
No doubt.
But I think LaFleur has the opportunity to do some really fun stuff with both of those guys. So I'll go Luke Musgrave has a little bit of a breakout year offensively. And then defensively, Javon Bullard is a guy that intrigues me quite a bit. If Jair is not back, he's going to be used in the nickel quite a bit. He's going to be in the rotation at safety, behind Evan Williams likely. Javon Bullard is a guy I'm really excited to see what he looks like in 2025. So I'll go Luke Musgrave and Javon Bullard.
All right, I'm going to go Marshawn Lloyd as the breakout offensive guy after his nightmare of a rookie season. The little rocket in the backfield, as Jordan Love called him. And then I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. You know, Carl Brooks had some good moments. Certainly Lucas Van Ness needs to break out this season after 2 underwhelming seasons as a first-round pick. But this guy, who I can't believe you did a Q&A with him and you didn't pick him on your side of the ball, Carrington Valentine.
Does he know that? He's not your guy anymore.
I know, he's still my guy, but hasn't he already kind of broken out?
He hasn't broken out.
He's going to be their starting corner.
Is he?
I guess dependent on Jair. And if Jair's back, what does that mean for Keyshawn Nixon?
You've got Nate Hobbs. You've got Keyshawn Nixon. They're saying they're going to play Hobbs outside.
Valentine's above
All right,
Hobbs.
well, he started 19 games. He started 14 games as a rookie. He started 5 more games last season. But I don't think he has broken out to the point. If we're going to allow Jaden Reed to be an answer,
that's fair.
We could definitely allow Carrington Valentine.
I don't know if you could tell, Jason. I was looking to dig a little bit deeper than Jaden Reed and Evan Williams.
We don't I understand the intent of the exercise, but I don't think we needed to dig deeper than those guys. Like, that's one of the glories of the current state of the Packers roster.
Glories.
That a lot of these things are...
I'll just point out...
The groundwork has been laid. It's just time to step up and now elevate and figure and enhance.
I would just point out, nobody picked first-round picks Jordan Morgan or Lucas Van Ness. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I addressed Lucas Van Ness. He needs it to be a breakout. I don't know if it will or won't.
Yeah, I'd like for it to be Lucas Van Ness, but I'm not picking it.
All right, we need to play some trivia. Jesse, what's today's category, and which caller would you like?
It has been 8 days since we last played trivia.
Whoa.
So
really?
Yeah, because we played trivia Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week. We took Thursday, Friday off with the draft and all the festivities that were going on there. Monday we reacted to the draft, which was definitely a continuation of those festivities. I don't really know why we didn't play Tuesday and Wednesday this week, but we had a lot going on the last couple of days with the Bucks being eliminated and Cousins subs of the day, and Jim, Matt, and Molly were in on Tuesday, so that's why
we did not play Tuesday.
A lot's happened in the last 8 days, so it's been a minute since we've played trivia, and no better way to welcome us back than the trivia category, Mr. Irrelevant.
Oh, nice. Ooh. Are you combining the winners then from Monday through Wednesday last week and Thursday, Friday this week, and then selecting a winner?
I'm
How's
glad
that
you asked. That's a great logistical
Is that even allowed
question.
in the bylaws?
Sure is this time around. Here's what we're going to do. So we got 3 contestants last week. We're going to have 2 this week. That means 5. We're going to draw 1 winner, and then I'm very excited. I know Tausch is very excited. I know Jason's very excited. Starting next week, we are no longer playing for an ESPN Wisconsin prize pack.
That never gets delivered anyway.
It does get delivered. Why would you say something like that in a big moment like this? That's so undermining of the hype of what we were about to lead up to.
Well, now we're going to start delivering because we've got a great partner on board.
Chopped it at the knees there.
Yeah, he did. And it was good.
Vortex Golf going to be our brand new partner of Wilde and Tausch Trivia starting next week. So prize packs this week for ESPN Wisconsin prize pack this week to the winner. Vortex Golf is in next week. You're going to want to hear what we have to give away starting next week.
Okay, if you're going to critique me, you basically announced that we're going to have way better prizes with Vortex Golf starting next week. So if you win this week, you're just stuck with a crummy old ESPN Wisconsin prize pack.
Nah,
is that not what you just did?
You still want the crummy old ESPN Wisconsin prize pack. That's still a great thing to win. You still want to play trivia. We have people who play trivia. They don't even care if they're eligible to win the prizes.
We're going to punish Jesse here for this and then blaming me for cutting him out.
How
from
about
under.
34 for Giannis?
No, we're going to take 23 for Matthew Golden as the first-round pick. Jesse's going to work the phones all the way to caller 23. Caller 23 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 23 shall play trivia. Coming up, want to remind you, I got to see both David Gruber and Steven at the Tundra Trio during the draft. It was great to catch up with them. We had a great conversation about our great partnership with them and our friendship. And I'll tell you this, it's great to see them like that. I hope I never have to have them on my side in a courtroom, because that means somebody that I care about or myself has been seriously injured in an accident. And Steven and I were talking about that. They don't want you to call them either. But when something does happen and the insurance company is not doing right by you, make sure you call them so you get what you deserve. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber offices, one call, that's all. Go to the website. Find out more about their history, all the great lawyers that are there, everything David and his family do in our communities. It's gruber-law.com. Trivia is next. It's Wilde Tausch.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhaffel's Memorial Day Mattress Sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable base sets, plus get up to $300 in Steinhaffel's cash only at Steinhaffel's. Along with draftees Jack Nelson and Hunter Wohler, 4 more will get their shot to live out a lifelong dream. On the undrafted free agent front, wide receiver Bryson Green signs with the Arizona Cardinals. O-lineman Joe Huber sticking around the Midwest with the Minnesota Vikings. Cornerback R.J. Delancey going Big Apple with the New York Giants. A couple rookie minicamp invites handed out too. Linebacker John Pius on his way to Cleveland. And D-lineman Elijah Hills is Bay Area bound with the 49ers. Best of luck in the league, boys. Make us proud.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Get ready for the Good Karma Brands John Moser Children's Radiothon Golf Outing on Friday, May 30th at Old Hickory Golf Club in Beaver Dam. Registration's at 11 a.m. while 12 p.m. marks the shotgun start. It's only $350 for a foursome with 2 carts and a lunch for 4. The registration deadline is May 16th. A form and more details are available at dailydodge.com. All funds raised through the day will benefit the 2025 Good Karma Brands John Moser Children's Radiothon.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2 or 4 person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Join me, Hunter Vaughn, and the Dean Dennis Summer Out this Saturday at 9 a.m. We react to the huge news of the WIAA voting to allow name, image, and likeness at the high school level. Plus, the Dean and I recap the week that was for area schools as the postseason is just a few weeks away. All that and more this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.5 ESPN and the new ESPN Wisconsin app.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I closed my eyes, I could see you in my sweatshirt, dancing around that college bar. These days I don't know where you are, but I get to keep these memories forever. Oh, I remember. Oh, I remember. Yeah. I still can't hear Third Eye Blind without thinking about that night. We bought long seats, but we never made it in. 'Cause we couldn't stop making.
Let's play some trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. It is Brian in Williams Bay, formerly of Greendale. Brian, where were you before
Greenfield.
Williams Bay?
Greenfield.
Greenfield. That was close. Greenfield, Greendale, whatever. All right. The category is Mr. Irrelevance, which is also the name of the wildly popular program that Strofe normally hosts, which is available when, Strofe?
Beginning at 12:30 Central, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and, of course, available wherever you get your podcast, including the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app.
So I'm going to pull a Tausch here, and since we have Mr. Irrelevant here, I'm going to let Mr. Irrelevant ask all the questions of Brian about Mr. Irrelevant.
What is with, Jesse, real quick, before we get to Brian, what is with the hosts on this show taking this segment off? Why is that a thing?
Well, it was a 3-hour show on ESPN Wisconsin. Sometimes you need a little load management.
I don't need it at all. I could do it. I'm just choosing not to.
I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I have to defend Ben Brust for a moment. He hosts a 3-hour show every day on ESPN Wisconsin, and he doesn't load manage.
Load management.
All right, here we go, Brian and Williams Bay. Question 1, Wilde and Tausch trivia. Perhaps the most famous Mr. Irrelevant of all time, which of these is the only quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl after being the final pick of an NFL draft class? Was it Brock Purdy, Matt Hasselbeck, or Hunter Vaughn, also known as Tiny Hands?
Brock Purdy.
Ding, ding.
Does Hunter Vaughn have tiny hands?
Yes, self-appointed Tiny Hands, and that has been his nickname since about episode 2 of Mr. Irrelevant.
It's hard to be an NFL quarterback with tiny hands. Just ask Dante Tiny Hands Culpepper. All right, question 2,
all right.
Which I'm happy to ask. since apparently Ben Brust works harder than me.
That was
See? I got to him.
You want to? Hey, top 5 ways to not get invited back to host Wilde Tausch.
That was pretty high up on the list, I'm not going to lie. Marty Moore, Brian. A career standout on special teams. Became the first Mr. Irrelevant to ever play in a Super Bowl in Super Bowl 31 and win a Super Bowl in Super Bowl 36 as a member of which team? So he both played in one in 31 and won one in Super Bowl 36. Did he do that with the Denver Broncos, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the New England Patriots?
Denver Broncos.
So I tried to help you there by emphasizing Super Bowl 31 and repeating it twice because obviously the Packers won Super Bowl 31 and they defeated the New England Patriots. Tough question unless you use that little clue.
There were clues.
That was in there. All right. Question 3 to Mr. Irrelevant again. Hardest working man in show business, just ask him, Alex Strofe.
I would never say that. Speaking of hard questions, this one might be near impossible. At least you have a 33% chance. Here we go. The Green Bay Packers have selected Mr. Irrelevant as the final pick of the NFL draft twice since the AFL and NFL merger. Which of these is not one of those two Mr. Irrelevant picks in Packer history? So we were looking for the one the Packers did not select with the final pick in the draft. Was it LSU defensive back Norman Jefferson, Michigan center Matt Elliott, or C, Army quarterback Ronnie Makeda?
First of all, the hardest working guy is Jesse.
We know that's not
Brian.
true.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Good one.
I'll say
You got a wrong answer already. You haven't even answered the question.
I'll say Makeda.
Army quarterback Ronnie Makeda.
Wrong again. Jesse,
What you
not
get
the
for saying that about
hardest
Jesse.
working man. Ronnie Makeda was Mr. Irrelevant, drafted out of Army. Norman Jefferson was the 335th and final pick of the 1987 draft. Ronnie Makeda was the 240th and final pick of the 1997 draft. Unfortunately for you, the correct answer was Michigan center Matt Elliott. I don't know who that is. Was he the Mr. Irrelevant this year?
He was a Mr. Irrelevant, I think the year after Ronnie Makeda.
Obscure fellow. I don't know what kind of career he had, but he has one honor. He was the correct answer to a Wilde Tausch trivia question.
And shout out to these 3 guys and their families and the people who know them in this world. They got mentioned on a wildly popular radio show today, and that means a lot to them, I'm sure.
Unfortunately for them, they're not eligible for the Vortex Golf prize packs that are coming your way. Neither is Brian, but Brian is eligible for an ESPN Wisconsin prize pack. The problem is he's only got 2 entries into our drawing tomorrow. Brian, thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate your loyalty to the show.
My pleasure. Great talking to you.
All right, that is Wilde and Tausch Trivia. We kick off the 11 o'clock hour with more of your questions. Do you have some that you have curated to this point? And how do we feel we're doing in terms of getting to more questions than last time?
I don't think anybody's complained, so I think that's an upgrade from last time, the way you guys made it sound. Right, Jesse?
I've been in the YouTube comments. I've seen a few complaints, but that's on par. I also have a question for Jason from the private talking text line from a familiar friend of the show. He wants a Packers question answered by Jason Wilde.
Does he have to maintain his anonymity?
He does not, no.
Okay,
Does he fall into your top tier of best friends?
He is not tier 1.
Oh.
but he is often found up north.
Oh.
Ben Brust?
Don't sound so disappointed.
We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour with Up North Joe's question and more of your questions. Spoiler alert.
Could be anybody.
It kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today.
Jesse Nelson, did you know that somebody came up to me yesterday and thought I was guest hosting Wilde Tausch because I'm still getting that we sound alike?
That's Ben Brust. Yep. I don't know what he's doing crashing my studio. The Brewers win 6-4 over the Chicago White Sox yesterday, going for their first sweep of 2025. Ben, ESPN bet Brewers big favorites today. You got them?
Oh, I got the sweep. Grinded out the 6-4 victory last night. Need to sweep the lowly White Sox to get above 500 and be very happy with it.
The only question is if the game will be played with rain in the forecast. 1:10 first pitch, 12:34. Pre-game coverage gets underway here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. NBA speculation continues after the fallout from the Bucks falling in Game 5 to the Pacers on the future of Giannis. ESPN's Brian Windhorst with the latest at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins with a cat. Hello, Luna. And more questions. Luna's had enough of the show, much like many of our listeners. Stroll, what more questions do you have?
I have one that might be a little long. Now, I don't know what Up North Joe's is, but it's something you and I have talked about very briefly this offseason that has been on my brain, much like the call we got from Preston in Minnesota earlier. Something I've thought a lot about this offseason.
Spencer.
I think it was Spencer, not Preston.
I've heard it both ways.
Me too.
Who the hell is Preston?
I don't know where I pulled that from. I mean, I don't know. Just ignore it. So the defensive line, underwhelming last year, Jason. You would agree?
I was told that Rashawn Gary was a Pro Bowler. So
yeah, you were only told that. That was a fact. I just don't know if it's a fact many of us agreed with. They seemingly have chalked it up as a coaching issue versus a personnel issue, bringing in a new defensive line coach. DeMarcus Covington, I believe his name?
It is. Yes, it is. That is his name.
Do you think that's going to be enough to bring this defensive line and pass rush to the next level? Because it seems like otherwise their defense looks pretty solid on paper. The defensive line's a spot that irks me and scares me a little bit as they lose TJ Slayton and didn't really add any significant pieces outside of a couple day 3 draft picks to that defensive line. So do you think the coaching change is enough to elevate guys like Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness to a level, at least for Van Ness, we've never seen, and for Gary, we haven't seen in several years. That I'm a little skeptical on. That's the one piece of this team where I go, I don't know if that they did enough there.
Yeah, look, I first of all, I believe Goody when he says that when the draft board falls the way it falls, that he's not going to chase. So he didn't draft a corner. Do I think that if they had drafted a corner, say in the second round, or, I thought it was interesting. I included this in my story on channel3000.com. There are only 2 first-round corners. 2. If you don't count Travis Hunter, which whatever he is, he's a unicorn. Then there were only 3 second-round corners. And then there were 9 third-round corners. Including Siobhan Revelle from East Carolina, who came in for a visit for the Packers pre-draft, is coming off of an ACL, but is a guy that they were clearly interested in. He went 76th overall, and then they took Savion Williams 87th overall. Now, can I say with any degree of certainty whatsoever that if Savion Williams and Siobhan Revelle are both there at 87, that they still pick Williams? No. I cannot say that with any degree of certainty. In fact, I would love to know if he had fallen all that way, if Revelle would be a Packer. Because you had him in for a visit. There's a lot of people that really liked him coming out, even though he's coming off the major injury. And so then you don't draft the corner until the 7th round. Defensive line, hey, you went back-to-back edges in the 4th and 5th round, and Goody views the 4th-round pick as a premium pick. He has referred to it that way multiple times. So Sorrell is a guy that they expect to contribute. But he, and I don't want to say that fans are never happy, because that A, is unfair to them, and B, I'm not going to paint fans with a broad brush. I know better than that. But there is a segment of the fan base that now they finally draft a wide receiver for the first time in the first round in 23 years, and now we're not happy you didn't get a corner or edge rusher high. So, look, I don't know if Rashawn Gary's ever going to be a lead pass rusher. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. All I know is to this point in his career, he's never had double-digit sacks, and generally speaking, you would like him to have done that by now if he's going to be elite. And Lucas Van Ness has, 7 total sacks in his career, 7.5, somewhere in that range. That's fewer than Will McDonald IV of the greater Milwaukee area and Iowa State had as the 15th overall pick after the pick swap with the Jets. That's what he had last year, 10.5. So those guys need to be better. They need to be more productive, and they need to make it so they don't always have to come up with creative ways to generate pressure. Just have 4 guys get after the quarterback and win and create pressure.
When you look at position groups on this team, is that the one where you go, yeah, that's probably the biggest question mark for the Packers entering training camp in 2025?
Look, I'm a Carrington Valentine believer, so I think he's a good player. I do. And so, but I do think there are people that question corner, which is why so many folks are getting their hopes up now about the Jair Alexander reconciliation, which, again, I hope it's true. I hope it ends up working that way. But let's make sure we understand that while Rob Domofsky did report that they are now conversing and discussing the idea of him coming, he also made it very clear that all 3 options, release, trade, or reconcile, are all on the table. It's not just, now they're working toward a resolution, and he's definitely going to be back. So maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I don't know about anybody else, but this is one of the longer running topics that I've encountered since quarterbacks mold retirement.
/ leaving Green Bay. Rodgers watch too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to your point, I am no math whiz by any means, but 66.6% of those options you just listed equal Jair not in Green Bay. So As open as I am to it, I'm with you, because when he's at his best, when he's been available, he's been a productive and very good player. And it's certainly, when you add the name Jair Alexander to a defensive backfield, you feel more comfortable with it. But I'm not sold he'll be back by any means. We'll see. And to be real honest with you, I expect this to drag out for quite a while. But between defensive line and corner, those are my two bugaboos. I feel really good about this offense, as I went on a rather long soliloquy about earlier. It's a very exciting offense at all position groups.
Yeah, soliloquy, lengthy. Maybe you are my son, based on the reports in the YouTube comments or on the text chains.
I am not going to pull a Jesse and refer to you as dad like he does with Matt LePay. I'm not going to do that.
I still want to make a joke here. That's a very niche joke, but I'm not going to do it. What other questions do you have?
We have one from Up North Joe.
You don't know that.
Do you have any from Chuck?
Aw, who's that? I didn't see anyone named Chuck on the text line. I
didn't either. Yeah.
I do have Up North Joe's question for you. He was very excited. I think he spent a lot of time crafting it like he does with his trivia questions. Here it is,
boy.
Jason.
Lay it on me.
Here's one.
What a start.
It's quite a salutation.
Do you think Goody believes Jordan Love is one consistent performing solid offensive lineman away from taking the next step and having a breakout year, even with the receiver room in a little question?
It's an interesting question, because you could also take offensive linemen out of there and insert wide receiver, consistent wide receiver, and ask it again, right? I mean, look, is it possible that Jordan Love is just, his ceiling is going to be that he's going to be a good to better than good, very good, but not MVP, not all-pro, not Hall of Fame quarterback? Yeah. Can you win with guys like that and win a Super Bowl? Yeah, you can. But then the other pieces do matter a little bit more, right? You don't have that guy who I used to always love calling Rodgers a deodorant, because he was so good, he covered up other areas of your team that stink. And if Jordan Love is going to become that guy, great. Then he can make up for some areas that stink. Otherwise, if he's just a good, lotion or hair care product or whatever else we want to have in your cupboard, then he's still going to need the other ones to play at a high enough level. And whether that's adding wide receivers or improving the pass protection or having a running back shoulder a lot of the load offensively again, whatever that looks like, there is a formula to win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love as your quarterback, even if he's not a Hall of Famer or a perennial All-Pro like Rodgers and Favre were. There's certainly plenty of, there's what did PETA want us to say instead of skin? There's lots of ways to feed a cat. So whether or not Jordan Love is going to be as great as Favre or Rodgers, I would say, based on the early returns, that it's less likely that he is that good and more likely that he's just pretty good. Feed a fed horse is the one I was looking for.
Yeah,
there,
that was
Josh.
Definitely more than one way to feed a cat is not what you were looking for.
Well,
there.
they definitely don't want us skinning cats.
No, they definitely changed that one. You're right, but
that one's a beat a dead horse.
Yes. Feed a fed horse.
But beat a dead horse is not what I'm looking for there. What I'm looking for is there's more than one way to win Super Bowls with quarterbacks. So it was definitely skin a cat. I don't remember what they gave me as an alternative. PETA, if you're listening, I need your info.
Up North Joe is upset with me that I changed his question.
Wait, you changed his question?
No, he said
editorialized it?
He said, all right, he said, do you think Goody believes Jordan Love is one consistently performing solid O-line away from taking the next step?
So the entire group.
He's talking about the entirety of the line, not just one offensive lineman. I misunderstood what he was saying. Sorry, Joe. Does that change your answer?
No.
Didn't think so.
No.
But I
put him
appreciate
in a
your
position.
apology.
They've put him in a position to limit excuses. That's for sure. Right? I think we would all agree on that.
They have given him a lot to work with. There's no question about that. Whether or
including
not
including a $55 million payday every
yeah,
year.
But also a first-round wide receiver and another opportunity and another guy in the third round now. So, look, they've given him ample options. Whether or not they're good enough, we'll have to wait and see.
Very true. Yeah, and an investment in a left guard and a second-round offensive tackle. So we will see.
What else you got?
Don't we need to break?
We were so concerned about time management in the 9 o'clock hour. Now it's 11:22, and Jason's over here. What the heck? Let's keep going.
Time for a break, I'm told.
Could you beat me in a 40-yard dash?
What
That's
changed?
a question.
What changed from the 9 o'clock hour to the 11 o'clock hour? We're like, we're going to be on time today.
I thought Stroke took over the show. I thought that's what changed. I thought he was on top of this. All right, more of your questions next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Wilde Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Continuing our Q&A edition of Wilde and Strofe.
If I may interject.
You certainly may, Matt LePay Jr.
Oh, boy.
So we've had a lot of questions for Jason on the program today.
Oh, boy.
Up North Joe has a daily double that he wants to ask Alex Strofe a question here.
Okay.
Now, I know things got a little wild and wacky on Kyle Bruston Nortman yesterday with the Gabe Neitzel Mac Fund fundraising efforts that ensued.
Babyface Neitzel.
Yes. Looks great, by the way. Looks great. Strofe, did you say you could land a plane yesterday? Because North Joe is a pilot. He is a
really?
licensed pilot. And he's very offended that you think you could casually hop in a plane and land it.
So hold on a minute. So this was a conversation around self-confidence, which I think a lot of us in this business have too much of it, including myself, very much so. I said in an emergency, if I had the proper equipment, right? If I could talk to the air traffic controller, if they could talk me through how to land a plane, I think I could potentially do it. Yes.
Joe had to take courses for like years to be able to do this kind of thing.
Again, I'm not saying I could professionally fly a plane.
You think in a emergency situation where tension is already extra high and stressful and it is live
pilot has had a
line,
heart attack.
I'd be willing to raise my hand and say, I got this, yes. In that scenario.
And you
I hope I'm not on that flight.
With someone in your headset saying, all right, now hit this button, you think you could land an airplane?
All right. Strofe to the airport.
No.
Please tell me which lever I need to pull.
Well, if the pilots have both been incapacitated, they're not there to tell you what to do.
Here's the thing. I'd prefer it not be a commercial flight. Right, I don't want to be on like a Delta flight with 100 people.
What makes you? So you are you going up in the air with Larry McCarron?
What very specific circumstances?
Does Larry McCarron fly?
Yeah, he's a pilot. Yeah, he's flown to games before independently of the team.
That's very fun. Yeah.
I never knew that.
I'm not. I love Larry. I love Larry McCarron. He has been amazing to me. I think the world of him. I don't know if I have enough faith in anyone. Certainly not you, but not even Larry McCarron, who I love. I don't like to fly to begin with. It has become a thing for me ever since we had kids. There's just a little undercurrent of nervousness. I am not going up in a helicopter. I'm not going up in a small airplane like Larry flies. If I can avoid it, I don't have a whole lot of interest in flying anywhere. But if I have to fly, happy to fly on Delta. But you're not landing a 747. You're landing like a Cessna.
Yeah, a Cessna.
Like a little four-person plane. You
totally know what a Cessna is. Yeah, well, just act like I know what that is for a moment.
Since you're apparently appointing yourself a pilot,
amateur pilot,
I feel like you should know a little more about planes.
An irrational self-confidence thing about me is, in the case of an emergency, I think I could land a small plane. Now, I don't mean to be insensitive real quick on this Larry McCarron note, but we all know about his famous pinkies. Do you think that...
It's only one. It's only one that's
I thought it was both.
No, it's just one.
So that doesn't affect his ability to fly an airplane.
Come on. You're going to question whether his bent pinky prevents him from handling the controls properly?
I feel like that's a fair question.
Yeah. Well, so much for that promise of we weren't going to get sidetracked from questions.
I think this was a great derailment, actually. As you can tell, my energy has kicked up a notch.
Poll it on Mr. Irrelevant. Who believes Strofe could land a plane in case of emergency?
Josh DiMaggio is blowing up our phones like he doesn't have a microphone in front of his face. Joshy, you and I co-host Mr. Irrelevant together Monday, Wednesday, Friday, beginning at 12:30.
When did that happen, by the way?
Before the football season, I would think. Or
I noticed he's been
season.
on when I've been on. I thought it was just because he wanted to get in the conversation with me.
No, he sits in the studio with me 3 times a week. So, Joshy, there was a long storied history of my self-confidence. Overconfidence. Would you like to provide any examples off the top of the noggin?
I mean, the first one is the 3-cone drill and all the athletic.
Combine,
like, you thought you were going to have a decent combine. You once told us, now this is a great one. He told us he could name all the largest population cities in order, and he didn't get more than he got 2.
I think I got 3. I think I got 3.
He also said he could name the largest states by, the largest cities by population in Wisconsin. He got about 3 as well, and he was so confident.
You've lived here your whole life.
And his 4th guess was like number 25 on the list.
For the U.S. one.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just thinks.
No, I got all 10 Wisconsin, just very out of order.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably some of the reason you're here right now as such a young person in accomplishing so much. So here's the compliment. But you're a complete moron.
So much.
You just think you could do stuff that you have no possibility of doing.
You're just a complete moron.
New York, L.A., and Olympia, Washington.
Yeah, he got to Chicago, and then suddenly just
I think
went
I said
off
Atlanta, and it was actually much smaller than I realized. Yes. Yeah. Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, Kenosha. All right, that's enough of that.
Chip in Cedarburg, I'm a pilot too. No chance you get that plane safely on the ground. I'd rather jump out and take my chances of surviving the impact than an attempted Strofe landing.
Yeah, Robin Madison says, I'm rather confident Alex would successfully crash the plane. Thanks for the ringing endorsements, everyone. That was good.
There's a better chance of LeBron requesting a trade to Milwaukee.
LeBron's a free agent. Watch out now.
All right. Time for Whoa Nelly next.
I saw Strofe's agility drills. I have serious doubts he'd make it to the cockpit before the plane crashed. Matt Coonan.
That's a very odd brand message from Matt Coonan. Speaking of brands, I will give you this. The 40-yard dash, you looked faster than you looked in the cone drill. I will say that about you. Again, pretty low bar. I'm cooking your straight line speed. It does. I would just say this: if you're watching on YouTube, it doesn't look like you're trying as hard as you can, and I know you were, which makes it even more disconcerting.
That's the sad part. The also sad part is I was a runner in middle school and high school. I ran cross country for years, and apparently I've always looked like that, and I never knew it.
The 3-cup drill, since you guys didn't have cones, you used Dixie cups. Not pretty. What is going to be great, though, unlike that demonstration of his athleticism, is our big Made 'em Believe event on June 26th at the Orpheum Theater. You remember the moments of that magical March in 2015. Frank Kaminsky leading the charge for Bo Ryan and Wisconsin in a run to the championship game. Well, now you can relive it all with Made 'em Believe on June 26th. Join Frank, Sam Decker, Bo Ryan, and more for an intimate night at the Orpheum Theater in Madison to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of that team. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. That's uwhoops2015.com. I wanted to Whoa Nelly that, but I couldn't. Time now for the real Whoa Nelly. That's next, so stick around.
This is Wilde Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
There's no safer place to feel dumb than Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
We are adults on this program.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to take for people to realize that.
Don't listen to the end of Monday's program.
Don't do that. Don't listen to the end of most of our programs. If you don't listen to the show, you can go ahead and say we are the most mature show on ESPN Wisconsin.
Mr. Irrelevant, live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app, customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Slow down on Monday. Not a sound on Wednesday. Might get loud on Friday, but on Saturday.
We're trying to land the plane that is this Q&A edition of Wilde Tausch with Alex Strofe as our cousin sub of the day. Again, I don't think we'll have as vehement of complaints, but I still don't know if we got to as much as we would have liked over the course of the last 2 hours and 41 minutes. And now it's time for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde Tausch.
I grew up in the 90s and 2000s. I've been around a fair share of bad Wisconsin sports teams. Why would anyone want to go to a Chicago White Sox game? The Brewers play the White Sox today. 1:10 first pitch if it's not raining. The White Sox are 7-23. They have been an atrocious baseball team for several seasons. Their ownership stinks. They're not trying to win. The games don't look fun. Like, they've invent ways to lose every game out. There's 16 games under 500 at the end of the first month of the season.
A lot of season left.
Why would anyone ever want to go to a Chicago White Sox game? As you can see, Pablo Iglesias standing behind me here, if you're watching on YouTube, noted Chicago White Sox fan.
I noticed he's not going to the game.
He will not be in attendance for this afternoon's chance for the Brewers to get their first sweep of the season.
I don't have much if you're a White Sox fan.
Can you bring in Pablo?
Yeah, I'll go get him there. Hang on.
Okay. Because here's what I don't understand, Strofe.
Yes.
Are they trying to get a new... I have not followed this story. Okay, so hand up. I'm not all that. I have a buddy that works for the Sun-Times, Steve Greenberg, who I worked with at the Badger Herald once upon a time at the University of Wisconsin. I saw he had a column today on the White Sox saying that it's more of the same but different, and that there are small signs of improvement. But now that Pablo Iglesias joins us, proudly sporting his University Ridge hoodie, which I thought for a second he'd be wearing, proudly wearing Bradley University items that he was given when he was invited to speak, and Jesse tagged along.
My +1, yeah, Jesse. My +1 to the Steiner Symposium.
Not true.
Yeah, he was not invited.
Well, we do have
all
the jump
know that
around
now.
today. I do have to rep a little bit of Badger, but let's focus on the big thing here.
Because
if you're going to a Chicago,
what our listeners are interested in is White Sox talk.
Absolutely. Because I'll just put it this way. I think the Chicago White Sox are very much the indication of what Chicago is actually all about. You're going to have a great time. You're going to get to see what the neighborhood's all about. You're going to get great food. It's not the sexiest stadium of them all, but hey, it's a baseball stadium. And you know what? If you're going down to Milwaukee, it's about an hour and a half drive, hour 45 into traffic. You get to see the Brewers. You get to see them pull off the sweep, and you get to knock off a baseball park too. If you're a Brewers fan wanting to go to a Chicago White Sox game, I'll tell you what all bars to go to as well. That's the neighborhood that I grew up in. That's where I'm from. That's where I would say, guys, you got to go to a Chicago White Sox game, and I'll be your tour guide.
All right. Yeah. I've had two. Now there's the third person who's taken over this show for me today.
It's good.
The reason I invited you in was not for you to act like the Chamber of Commerce
that was
for the
sales pitch.
Southsiders.
It's a good one.
What are they trying to accomplish by not trying to win? Are they trying to get? Are they trying to move out to the suburbs? Why don't they care about fielding a playoff or even not just contending, but just competitive baseball team in Chicago, Pablo?
I feel like that it's getting in their own way. It's what the front office is all about. They want to be about putting a winning product out there, but they have to be real. They gotta be with the times now too. It's not gonna be like players are all of a sudden just gonna stop asking for more money. Get out there, and if Yasmani Grandal and Andrew Benintendi are the highest paid players ever in franchise history, there's a problem there. I don't want to just be the guys that are at the table with Bryce Harper and Manny Machado and call it a day. That's what the Brewers are doing too. It's like, hey, we're at the table. We're talking to these free agents. Don't give up. You're still in Chicago. You're still in a big market. So I don't know exactly what the problem is or how to fix the problem, guys. But I just say, you know what? Stop saying that you can't be at the table and you can't afford these big market players, because I know that they definitely can't. Jerry Reinsdorf's got some money with the Chicago Bulls. I know that.
Well, hey,
They stink, too.
They made some really cool crossover jerseys with the White Sox and Bulls. That's going to solve all the problems, right? Give me a couple extra dollars to get some free agents next summer.
I'm not a fan of those. Like, it's just a huge cash grab, guys. I mean, do you feel otherwise? I feel like it's a huge cash grab now. It's like what the NBA City jerseys are now. Those are cool, but now we're just like we're losing the essence of what the city jerseys are.
Celebrating Jerry's greatness, celebrating Chicago's
look
greatness.
Look at the collar.
Grab. What are you talking about?
Look at the collar. It shows all of the championships. It shows the 6 Bulls championships, and then 1906 and 1917. Why are those on there? Jerry did it with, it's like, quote unquote, celebrating the success of the White Sox and Bulls. I did not expect this to be the talk today. I'm sure everybody else is just thrilled to be talking about Chicago White Sox and Chicago Bulls basketball here across ESPN Wisconsin.
Yeah, I just want to point out, I didn't get a very good answer from you on this.
I was very good at diverting, wasn't I?
Like, you don't know why they suck. It's not like they're completely broke. Like, is it incompetence? Whatever it is.
We're just too loyal at this point, man. I'm just, me and my dad.
It's incompetence.
Whoa, hang on now. Well, the team is incompetent.
Right.
I didn't go to a game at all last season, but yeah,
oh, big fan.
I got to give it to
it's my neighborhood.
Clearly
You're going to eat
super
great
loyal.
Food. You're going to
super
check the
loyal.
stadium off your list.
They averaged 17,000 fans a game last year. Pablo's given us a Chamber of Commerce sales pitch. He didn't attend one.
I'll go
You're
this
fraud.
year. I'll go. Did you just? I'm not a fraud.
Jesse, get him out of here. Get him out.
I'm getting yanked. I'm getting yanked. Hey, guys, take care. Be good.
Somebody get that hook thing that they pull guys off stage with. Do I feel like I have any better idea how a big market like Chicago has such a crappy team?
We could have Nellied that.
Well, Jesse gave him his headphones and the microphone, and then he left.
I didn't even hear what you guys were saying on the other end of it, the way this works back here.
Quite an operation. Whoa, Nelly!
Whoa, Nelly! All I heard was, but hey, it's a baseball stadium. That's one in the top 5 reasons to go to a White Sox game.
Great neighborhood, but he didn't attend a single one last year. That's great.
Yeah, that's where he grew up.
Good insight.
Luka and LeBron were eliminated from the playoffs last night in the same amount of games in the same round as the Milwaukee Bucks, who were without Damian Lillard for all but 5 quarters of the postseason. Should the Lakers be more embarrassed than the Bucks for their postseason performance?
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, the Bucks lost Damian Lillard. I mean, you have built-in excuses right away right there. LeBron just didn't show up in the fourth quarter of either Game 4 or Game 5, scored a combined 5 points in the fourth quarters of each of those games as the Lakers fall. So, Father Time might be catching up to old LeBron James. Luka's still amazing, but he's just, I don't know. It wasn't enough, obviously, to beat Ant-Man and the Wolves. So, yes, they should be more embarrassed because they were healthy, at least healthier in terms of their stars.
Yeah, I have to admit, was that game late last night?
It was, yep.
Because I wanted to see if the Wolves were going to eliminate them, and then I forgot, and then I went to bed, which is what older folks do.
Lakers were down double digits. They came roaring back in the third and then blew the lead and ultimately lost by, I think it was 7 or 8.
So I if I recall correctly, there was someone on this panel who is not here today who was also touting the Doncic trade frequently that had them in the finals. That is not going to be the case in the West. So they should be embarrassed. They made this big move. They had the heist of the century, getting Luka Doncic the way they did. And good for Anthony Edwards and the T-Pups. Good for them. Whoa, Nelly.
T-Pups?
Yeah, that's what they used to be called when they were a really young team in the 90s, the T-Pups.
Ah,
yep.
Okay.
Interesting.
Learn stuff from old people all the time. Next!
Whoa, Nelly!
Are you out of stuff?
Yeah, the music's done, dude. What's going on here in the 11 o'clock hour?
What's going on with you, Jason?
You keep wanting more. It's 11:51. Like we're out of time.
Let's do another
here. The
hour.
music's done. What are you doing?
Well, the music was done, and hand up. This is my fault. How do I get my hand in the video stream here? There we go. I shouldn't have brought in Pablo. He didn't. He added nothing other than a Chamber of Commerce pitch for a stadium that he didn't even go to.
I think the point
in
is
the last calendar plus year.
He's got nothing. You can't add nothing when you have nothing. Like the White Sox have nothing. They're 7-23 and terrible. And they have been for years.
What I wanted was an explanation as to how does a team let's not call Chicago a small market, please.
Nope.
Okay.
Third
how
biggest
are they
in the
this
U.S.,
bad?
by the way.
Good.
We will wrap things up because the music has stopped. That's on me. I thought Pablo would come in. Great opportunity to be on our show. We love him. He does a great job. But as a Chicago White Sox fan, I thought we'd get some vitriol and some frustration, and there's no reason for them to be this bad. And instead there's great restaurants around Old Comiskey Rate Field Park, whatever they call it. Don't get it. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde Tausch.
The Nuggets win their second straight and take a 3-2 lead over the Clippers. Will LA survive a must-win? Coverage begins tonight at 9:30 Eastern. With tip-off at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. Along with draftees Jack Nelson and Hunter Wohler, 4 more will get their shot to live out a lifelong dream. On the undrafted free agent front, wide receiver Bryson Green signs with the Arizona Cardinals. O-lineman Joe Huber sticking around the Midwest with the Minnesota Vikings. Cornerback R.J. Delancey going Big Apple with the New York Giants. A couple rookie minicamp invites handed out too. Linebacker John Pius on his way to Cleveland. And D-lineman Elijah Hills is Bay Area bound with the 49ers. Best of luck in the league, boys. Make us proud.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Jim Rutledge here, and I want to tell you about the Bruce Company, Dane County's premier retailer of outdoor furniture. They'll help you elevate your outdoor living space like they have for me. Exceptional craftsmanship, all the latest styles, colors, and durable materials that hold up to whatever Wisconsin weather brings. From deep seating to dining, pick your set and the Bruce Company will customize it to fit your style. Visit their furniture showroom in Middleton and let their trained staff help you bring your outdoor dreams to life. The Bruce Company, your outdoor living experts.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
I think having a room full of players that want to be here will matter and run this offense will matter. And I do think this team's going to look competent. I got 6-7 wins from them because their schedule's impossible. But 6-7 wins and looking like you belong in every game, I think that's going to build a lot of confidence for fans going forward.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance Team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers begin a 10-game road trip in Atlanta against Marcell Ozuna and the Braves. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, with first pitch at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
We've got less than a minute to go. Strofe and Jesse, your assessment of today's Q&A edition, and would you do it again?
Jesse, why don't you lead us off?
I've enjoyed the Q&A day. I think... I
don't think we should do it often.
My takeaway is this. I think Jesse and I enjoyed ourselves. I think the fans enjoyed themselves. I'm not positive Jason enjoyed himself.
I'm not sure if we covered as much ground as we wanted to. Certainly an upgrade from the last time.
Committing to it all show long instead of for the 11 o'clock hour like we did last time was definitely a
But then we got some knucklehead
move.
land in a Cessna.
Well, that was a question that was asked. That's what happens when we do a Q&A day. I do think there is some warranted critique from some of the fans, and you know how much I don't enjoy the YouTube dwellers.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some warranted critique on the length of some of the responses, derailing some of the other additional questions we could have gotten to.
Wait, critique of my answers?
I'm not pointing any fingers. There was some critique of the length of answers and how that could have impacted the amount of questions that were covered.
Okay, well, I was going to say that some of the questions were too long.
You know, Jason, no, there's an easy way to flip this, right? Flip it on the fans. They asked such great questions that got you thinking and rolling and really analyzing the questions they asked.
All right. Well, we're out of time for this one. Lord knows Tausch misses time, so maybe there'll be another opportunity. We'll keep workshopping it, and we'll see if we can't maybe get to even more answers in the future. But my thorough answers, I thought, were the point of this.
I did too, but again, you can't make the YouTube dwellers happy. That's
not true. We love YouTube.
That'll be it for us today. Thanks to Alex Strofe for stepping into the breach, and thanks to the YouTube dwellers who didn't think we got enough answers because mine were too long.
They did a great job today.
Great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Come